because I know in your podcast when I watched that with Mark or Mo Money, Mo Dollars, whatever he goes by now.
Dude,
I know I used to know him as Mark.
dude, he's big time. You're gonna get here too. If we're gonna do this content consistently, you know what I find out? My co-hosts all get, big and famous, and they're all like rock stars, Mick Jagger, leather jackets, bunch of girls, flash bulbs. That's just your life. It's coming up, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm very happy with where I'm at, and some of the people I've met have been very wonderful. So I can't wait for
Yeah.
my future and fame.
Keep faking humility. It doesn't work on you. Go for it.
I know, I know. Anyway, so when you were getting that information,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of The Recap. And I gotta stop you right here. If you're here for the latest tech, if you want to know what hero is going to be best, or some kind of deck tech, or some kind of tier list, this content's not for you. I'm joined by Sam Dando of MinMax Games of the Roundtable of Wraith, and we are here to talk about everything else when it comes to Flesh and Blood. We want to center around talking about events, talking about the community, things going on, any drama that might be happening, and most of all, we want to grab a beverage, relax, and talk about something we love to death. So, Sam, welcome to the show, man.
hey, dude, I'm so happy to be here. It's been a long time coming. I mean, we've been talking about doing this for so long. I feel like it's just the right timing. We're both at the right point to do some good stuff together, and I'm just super excited to get started.
Dude, absolutely. As you know personally, I got nothing else, like no big life events coming up here at all. So I got
Yeah,
nothing but
super
time.
significant, right?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. Let's totally make this happen. So guys, welcome to the show. If it's your first time here, like, comment, share, subscribe. And if it's your first time here, it's the first episode, so of course it's your first time here. Let's talk about what we're gonna do on this kind of unique form of content. We're gonna play a couple games. So we're gonna play a game I call Cap or Recap, where I'm going to give Sam a situation that is about the most recent event that he just came back from as a fan and as a vendor for MinMax Game, and he's gonna tell me if it's cap, it's just not true, or if it's an accurate recap. We're going to break down the event from his perspective and some unique things, and then we're going to talk a section called Secret Tech, where we dig into what really happened in the field. Were those 17 Oldhams or however trillion Oldhams, were they really control? What were you guys selling? What wasn't selling? We got some secret tech we're gonna give to you guys. So Sam, are you ready for the content, the chat?
I mean, as ready as I'm gonna be. I mean, we're just gonna dive right in, I guess. Let's do it.
We are gonna dive right in, and let's just start with the big picture, the big question. We looked at the most recent events, and we saw, slight numbers posted for the national qualifier. It was only, I think, 40 players. I think it was 39 or 40 players. And then we saw a jump to about 100. And this led a couple people to say, the Fab community is not showing up. They're not showing out. So I'm going to speculate to you, the Fab community is just not showing out. They're not showing up. Is that cap, or is that an accurate recap?
Nah, dude, that's straight cap. I mean, if you were at this event, you would have been so proud and so hyped for the community. Like, I remember when we came in on Sunday morning, we knew it was going to be exciting with the Battle Hardened, but right as the doors opened, we had people coming right up to the booth. They knew who MinMax was. They came there to see us. They were looking for their last minute pickups for the event, and people were so excited and ready to go. I mean, it was just such a good thing to see as a player and as a vendor, just to see everyone in the room so excited to get started and just start playing right away.
Bro, you just said the biggest duh. I would be excited. If any of you have ever seen me at any of these events, I live in like a perpetual state of hype. I'm just like,
you're the happiest dude I've ever seen at events, dude.
It's not healthy. And then I get home and I have this rush of like relaxation, right? I realize I have slept for like 3 hours in several days. So you're saying the community showed out. I think that showed. I think it was awesome. Let me give you another one. Cap or recap. The only decks you can play after this event are freaking control decks. If you don't have your Channel Lake Frigids, you're out. Get out of here.
That is like half cap, I would say.
No.
All right. Then I'll just go hard cap. No, I don't think that is all you can play. You definitely can play Dromai. In terms of aggro, In terms of aggro, I am thinking it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but I do have some ideas. I have been talking to some people, and we do think there is some way to break through. But it definitely is not a full control meta. I would say it's going to be a little bit more grindy, but we still have some more options. I think this was just the immediate response, right? Everyone knew Oldhim was good. Everyone knew that Prism was the one holding him back. This was the first, I'd say, proof of concept to just show, yes, we all know Oldhim is good and he's very strong.
All right. So that's Cap, and then finally, Cap or recap. Min-max always moves way too much product.
That is a straight recap. Yes, we brought way too much stuff with us than we needed to. I mean, it's better to have than not have, but man, the sealed cases that were still in our car, I mean, we're gonna have them. We're gonna bring them back for you for Nats, but yeah, I think we brought way too much stuff this
Bro,
time.
it's the only vendor. So for those that don't know, I started my introduction and learning who Min-max was at, I think it was the Calling Indianapolis, and I was chatting with Peter. I was like, oh, I got to shoot some content. And I got nowhere to plug in. He's like, here, just set up at the booth and plug in. And that was my first. I sat in the Min-max booth and shot content while you top aided a Calling.
Yeah.
And that was my experience. And then the partnership blossomed from there. But I remember thinking to myself, like, dude, these guys bring like every common and uncommon, or common and rare, to these freaking events. Like, you need anything, you need tokens, they got you covered. You need common equipment, you need whatever it is. That you need yellow belittles, they got 400 of them in there, ready to go. Dude, it's crazy. You guys bring so much stuff. How much did your back hurt from carrying all that shit?
So for these smaller events, we fortunately cut down our inventory a little bit. We just bring the more higher end stuff. We're not bringing all of our commons and rares like we do, but for like Nats, Callings, Worlds, we bring everything. So fortunately, we were having a little bit less stuff with us this weekend, but it's usually just me and my partner Nick, and it's a lot to bring for just two guys. I will tell you that. We are definitely sore by the end of the weekend.
Dude, shout out Nick. Cap or recap, Nick is the foil rune chant king.
Oh yeah, no, hard recap. This dude, every event, if you see foil rune chants, they don't last long because they're going straight into his binder.
Bro, if you go to the Min-max booth with foil rune chants, like if you want to buy something at the Min-max booth and you're in the back of the line, start looking at Nick and flashing the foil rune chants, be like, no, I want to offload these. He'll bring you to the front. He'll buy your rune, and then he'll handle the rest of your transaction.
Yep.
Like that is straight recap. That's when I first met Nick. He's like, I think I might have the largest foil rune chant. I was like, that's a bold claim. And then I saw how he did business. I was like, oh, this man might this man might have this ridiculous collection.
If you're ever looking for foil rune chants on TCG Player and there happens to just be a buyout, I'd say 95% of the time it's Nick. It's always Nick.
Dude, I think I got like one or two, and it's the same. I'm not selling them. You know what? If you're out there, I encourage you to sell all of your foil rune chants to Nick. If you're listening to this podcast and you got foil rune chants, let me know in the comments section below if you're gonna plan to hold them or sell them to Nick, because I'm holding mine. I'm holding on to my cold foil dusk blades that Peter's trying to buy out. I'm holding on to my foil rune chants. I'm holding on to. I found out Peter collects chub toads just like I do. Yep. I'm holding on to my chub toads. There's no way he's getting his hands on them. I don't care how much money he offers me, dude. It's not happening.
Yeah. It's getting kind of out of hand. I'm not gonna lie. There's a little too many piles that are starting to clog up the inventory, but they're the boss, right? You got to do what they got to do.
Now the weirdest part of those big collections, like let's say you're Nick and you collect, you just got foil rune chants, like just stacks on stacks, and then one day you're like, nah man, I'm out, and you go up to the Min-max booth and you're like, hey, I got something to sell you, and you plop down this stack and you start looking at it, and it's just the same card, and you're like, what is happening? You're like, I own them all. Like, I'm selling them to you, now you own them all. That's got to be a pretty premium deal.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we are always looking to be buying anything really, and especially if it's a Duskblade, Rune Chant, or I mean, even for me, Talishar. Talishar is my top priority now.
That's right. You're not getting my cold foil Talishar either. You've asked.
Nope. No.
You've asked in several trades about you're not getting my cold foil Talishar either, bro. I
was so fortunate though, because one of our local players, Ben, you know Ben, right?
I know Ben.
He's
I love
a
Ben.
Nice guy. He hooked me up with a graded 9.5 white border Talishar.
No way.
It is my prized possession, and I'm never letting it go. So,
all right, Cap or recap. That's going to be the most expensive card in Fab one day.
I'm going to say Cap, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't see that one happening, but it's priceless to me, so that's all that matters.
All right, dude. This is awesome. Let's talk and break down the event really quick. So just going through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You were there,
Mhm,
boots on the ground, and I was avidly following the event, siphoning information off of you and your
mhm.
brand new Twitter handle at DripDropDando, I believe it is. Am I correct on that?
Yep, that is very correct, yeah.
So if you guys aren't getting the hint, go follow him on Twitter. The man's a sweet follow on Twitter. And you were giving me some info. So hit me day by day, man. When you walk in Friday, what's the first thing you're feeling and how do you transition into Saturday?
Yeah, so one of our goals with SCG Con specifically is since they aren't mainly focused with flesh and blood, they are magic events first and foremost. We always want to be there for the flesh and blood players specifically. So what we bring, what we deal is only in flesh and blood, and we are there just to support the players as they come in through the weekends. So people always know that we're going to be there. They always come to us if they need stuff, fortunately. So when we get in there on Friday, it usually is a little slow on Fridays because they're not hosting the big flesh and blood events yet at that time. So what I like to do is as I see to meet the local players, I might know some of them either through Discord or just I've heard of them. I like to invite them over to play a game. So you usually can see me play in some classic
So
constructed games.
listen. You really show up day one and start sharking people as a top 8 calling player. Like
I
that's just what you do.
It's not a shark, you know. We got to like cool experience was there's a guy who came in first to us from Quebec. He was a Quebecian who sold us a ton of really great stuff. And afterwards, I said, "Hey, you want to just play a game?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So I got the experience to test and play with a Quebecian player that otherwise I would never have met or seen before, which is really awesome. And most of the time, the best part is nobody knows who I am, so I'm always wearing my mask,
Bro,
and I
you
just get to
bought
play,
his
and it's great.
stuff and then slapped him on the tables. That's so rude. That's so disrespectful. No,
They were great games.
dude. That sounds awesome. I've noticed that as well. One thing I noticed, again, shooting content at the booth always meant kind of working at the booth and answering questions, especially as MinMax was, getting their feet wet and getting rolling in the Fab community.
Yeah.
So many people asking about the starter decks. That's something I noticed, especially
Yes.
on Friday, that first day. You've got people just showing up and almost kicking down the door asking questions about the starter decks.
Yeah, and we get so many Magic players that come in and go, I've heard so much about this game. I see it all the time. What is this? And we get to explain it, and I can kind of explain in terms of what they might like to play and what some heroes would be functional for them. And we get a lot of new people in, and that's probably one of the most rewarding parts about it. I mean, there was a player who I met at Indy when you were talking about it, and he was a Magic player full time, and
Oh
I
yeah.
just gave him a chain token, and I talked to him a little bit about the game, and here he was all this time later, see him come out to Sunday for the Battle Harden, and he said, "Hey man, I don't play Magic anymore. I play Flesh and Blood now because of you, and I'm here playing Kano, and I'm about to destroy some people." And that's some of the most rewarding stuff for the community, for me personally,
Bro,
which
that's
is
so
just such a great thing to
disrespectful.
see.
You just
Well,
painted a target on your back from Wizards of the Coast, right? Wizards of the Coast is like, oh, this guy's is taking our players. Get him. Send the corporate machine. Let's go get
hey,
him,
I don't
dude.
know, man. I'm just trying to get people what they want. If they want to play Flesh and Blood, that's up to them. It's not on me. I'm just trying to help them out, right?
So, dude, it sounds like Friday was like the perfect mingling event. You meet the
Yep.
community, meet the players. But man, Saturday morning, I know there's a buzz when you walk into these things on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
But SCG cons, like you said, maybe a little bit smaller. You lose some of that buzz, or is it still there?
Yeah, so Saturday in particular, since that was the last chance Nats qualifier, there
Hmm.
were some players that came in pretty early just to get ready for that to participate. One in particular being Ethan Mansant. He showed up for that event, and he was playing in that along with some of his crew. Some of the people that I know out in the Cleveland and the Cincinnati area in Ohio have really strong people that came out. So it was cool to get to meet them and get ready to start playing for that event. And again, if they might come over and they get to look and see what we got, and we got to get some nice pickups for that as well. So it's always a win-win for everybody.
Dude, okay, so when someone from Cleveland shows up at the booth, are you like, bro, even LeBron left? Like, what are you doing? Why are you in Cleveland?
Hey, I personally in Columbus, I loved Columbus. I thought it was a very nice place. I would consider moving there if I didn't work and had my soul sold to Minmax already. But I,
It just
I, it's too far gone. I can't move yet. But maybe we'll franchise there eventually down the future, and I can get out there again. But
you would
I
be
thoroughly enjoyed Columbus.
you would be happy if they paid your salary in store credit. Like you'd be like, "Yep, it's where it goes anyway. Forget it. I don't need
As long as
this."
I can pay my bills, it's all works for me. I got to get those cold foils when I can, so I'm all
Yeah.
about it.
No, so we did. If you guys haven't seen this after this video, wait till the end of this content. Go check out. I did a series with MinMax. I actually took the studio to the game store and we opened 3 first edition boxes, 2 Arcane Rising and 1 Welcome to Wraith. And Sam was working that day, and before he leaves, he's like, "Hey, if you pull some of this, call me. Don't list it.
Yeah.
Call me. I want to buy it right away." And so Peter is sitting there. He's opening and he's looking. He's like, "Oh, do I have to set this aside? Is this on the list?" You guys are savage.
Yeah, it's like I want to make sure that everybody gets what they're looking for. We always have great stuff for the community, but you gotta get. I gotta make sure I'm stay dripped on my decks, right? I gotta make sure I got the best stuff. I gotta look good, right? So,
you do it right. Like, of all the TCG players I've met, you do it right. Let me tell you. But then you get into, so you get through Saturday, you get to Sunday, and are you more busy as a vendor? And then as a fan, the event's a little bit bigger, so there's probably a bigger buzz in the room.
Yeah, so actually Friday is probably one of the days where we did a lot of good sales and buying stuff. We do a lot of good buying on the Friday and Saturday. And then when we actually have like the main event, that's when we get obviously the main crowd of flesh and blood people that come out.
Sure.
But they're playing most of the day, right? So as the rounds are going on, they might get a chance in between rounds to come over, or after they drop, they might want to come over. But during that time, a lot of it is just focused on playing. And especially now in this control meta, those rounds were going all the way to the 55.
What's
it's,
this, man? What's
control
this, man?
meta. It's the control meta, We're not quite, from the perception, we're in a control meta. So all those games are going to the full 55. There were definitely games going into time. So there really wasn't a lot of downtime. And I do have to compliment the judge staff. They did a fantastic job of keeping everything on track and making sure that things got taken care of at a good pace. Because other than top 8, obviously that takes a while.
Yeah.
But everything was perfectly on track. So kudos to them. But otherwise, there was a lot of great people that came over, a lot of old friends that I knew, other pro players. Michael Fang was there, Pat Eshigi was there,
Shout out.
some other notable, Mansant was playing that day too. So there was a lot of great players that were in that pool during that day.
I think at this point, you grabbed yourself some fine red wine. I made myself a little adult beverage here. I think it's time to, we did this on the pod, but cheers to Mansant.
Hey.
He hopped off Levia, so I feel like we gotta pour one out for the lost homies, you know what I mean? Pour one out for those who came before us. But
for sure.
It was cool to see, and I mentioned this in the pod, so I don't want to get too far into it. I just thought it was really cool to see, like, players like Mansant aren't Levia players, and these events are a chance to showcase their flesh and blood players, and they're just damn good at this game, and they're very talented, they're very enthusiastic, they go after it, and to just see him be like, oh, forget Levia, jump on another deck, and then hit top 8 and then 9th in the other event. It's like, all right, so this guy's just a fab player, I guess.
He's just a great player, and it was great because we've known each other for a while now and just haven't been able to cross paths, and this happened to be the first time where we got to hang out and talk for a while, and it was great to get to meet him. Super fun, good conversations, and I'm really excited about moving forward, playing more with him and just getting to talk to him more. And I mean, just generally the whole community. Every time I go to these events, I get to make so many new friends, which is the best part about it. Yeah,
dude, that's the best. I actually got reached out from a Twitter DM for Dad and Daughter TCG. I hope I'm saying that. I think it's Dad and Daughter TCG.
Yeah, Dad and Daughter, yeah.
I believe is the Twitter handle. Awesome guy. And I don't want to get his Twitter handle wrong because we've talked and interacted with one of the like since the inception of Hometown TCG. Like, awesome person online in the Fab community. And it was funny to see you guys interacting like, oh, we need each other's contact information. He's in the jeweler business and I want to do business with him. I need his contact. So it's like, man, this whole thing just comes full and these events, it comes full circle, and these events just bring unique people together. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. That's the best part. I mean, everybody comes from different walks of life and all have different professions, but because we all share this love for this card game, you meet all these people you would, in normal circumstances, never meet in life, which is pretty crazy.
Like, most of us are adults at this point. It's just a vacation. It's just an excuse to hang out with your buddies, sling some cardboard. And that doesn't mean we're not taking it seriously. It doesn't mean we're not trying to win, but it does mean when you don't win, you go grab a drink, you grab some dinner, you're in a good mood. It's a good thing. Dude, you got a guest in your house? What is it? Did a black cat just cross this podcast? right now or
Yeah, but
whatever this
he's
is.
he's good luck though. He's the nicest cat I've ever met in my life. He's a good kid.
Well, hey man,
He just got back.
if he doesn't have any takes to give on the recap here, he's wasted
He's out.
space. Get him out of here. What are we doing?
All right.
What?
He's in his own world. He'll stay out of the way.
So as a fan myself, it was really awesome to, and Fab social media is great for this. If you're not following Fab Twitter, if you don't have a Fab Twitter, like if you're like, I'm not gonna have a Twitter, why would I have a Twitter? Twitter's not cool. Get a Twitter, right, Sam? You should do that.
Yeah, I was like on Sunday pressured into just being like, yo, you need a Twitter. Everything's going on Twitter. If you want to give the information to the people, get on Twitter so you can do it. Because I was trying to go through Discord and it just wasn't really good. So, I mean, I got on Twitter and literally within like 3 to 4 hours, it was just people were already on top of it. So it was great to know that they're that interconnected and I had no idea. So if you want the news, get on Twitter, people. I guess that's where all the fabbers are.
You didn't know about Fab social media? You're
didn't.
such a boomer.
No.
You're so old.
Yeah, I thought people used Facebook or something.
Dude, I am so young and hip, and you are so old. It is insane. It hurts.
I'm just trying to catch up to the times. I'm trying to be like you, man.
Dude,
I'm trying to grow up like you.
Hey. I'm gonna pat you on the head and say, yes, son, you're doing a great job. No. Dude, it was awesome. You got on Twitter and like people, first of all, I grabbed your tweet, the picture you sent me, which I didn't know you tweeted out, and then I cropped it so that people could see the breakdown a little bit more. And SCG Con actually retweeted that from Hometown TCG with the MinMax logo on it.
Oh,
So,
dang.
yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so we got the SCG Con recap retweet going there. And so I think SCG Con was like, we can type up this recap, but this guy already did it. So let's just snag this and slap it on Twitter. So
I always think it's gotta be so weird because it's like the event goes on, all that there is just all the judges standing around, and then there's just this one random dude in a min-max hoodie just like pacing up and down all the tables with his phone out, like viciously recording all this weird info. One of the head judges, Judge Nick, comes up to me, he's like, you sending like inside information to somebody? I'm like, nah, dude, I'm just getting the hero breakdown. He's like, oh, cool. And I just kept going. He's like, cool. Yeah.
It's cool that he was like, I noticed suspicious activity. He basically pulled you over.
Yeah.
You had a tail light out, and he's like, this is an excuse to pull this guy over and make sure he's not doing something shady.
Yeah, Judge Nick, he's like one of the main judges at so many events, and so another perk is I get to talk and hang out with all the judges. So we're super chill. He was just kind of messing with me, but super nice guy. I have to do huge compliments to the judging staff too. Just as a quick side note, like, man, Flesh and Blood judges. When I was playing a year ago at Nationals, it was getting started, right? There weren't a lot of people who were that in the game and all that, but I have to tell you, after talking to all the judges now, they all play the game, they all love the game, they all buy cards in the game, they are looking for stuff in the game, they all play when they can, and they are really passionate about all these events. So it is such a positive and uplifting thing, and they're very open to just talking about stuff too if you have questions. So huge ups to the Flesh and Blood staff for the judging and all that. I have nothing but good things to say about them from this point too. So good job to them. Except I know, Josh, you have I'm sorry to bring up some bad blood.
I don't.
No?
I don't have good things to say about Flesh and Blood judges.
I mean, I also had my thing in the past, but move past it. We're on to a new age.
No.
We're on Fab 2.0, right? So it's time to forgive and forget.
Oh, I forgive. I don't forget. Okay, you'll learn this about us here at Hometown
Hey,
TCG.
dude.
We forgive, but we don't forget.
Well, I gotta get your name. I'll get you like a stamp with your name on it, so that way you can just put it on.
Bro. Every event that I go to, if you've followed Hometown TCG for a while, you know of Hometown TCG Dennis. You know Big Daddy Vegas.
Oh, Big Daddy Vegas.
This
yep.
man at every event now writes my name on my deck list. I get to the event and he grabs my deck list and he writes, and normally he writes something smart-assed on there as well. Like probably wouldn't spell his name right or something. Like, he just makes fun of me and writes my name on my deck list. And I'm sitting here, a 33-year-old man running a YouTube channel with a day job, about to have a kid, and I got someone putting my name on my paper. Like, oh, it's so demeaning. Every time he grabs it too, I'm like, I know what's about to happen. I just hate this. So I got an IP3 on stream because they said, oh, we don't have your deck list. I was like, no, you totally do. And then they brought the deck list. They're like, here's your deck list. I was like, yes. Like, but it's not, your name's not on it, so we don't know it's yours. I'm like, you just said It was mine though. Like it's the only one without a name on it. I'm the only one without a deck list. Like this works great. This is fantastic. Nope. IP3 on stream. I'm like, oh. All
I
right.
have now I know exactly what I need to get you for Christmas. I got the perfect idea. So I'm gonna pool the min-max money together and we're gonna get you a super nice seal with your name on it for all your deck
It's just a
lists.
little stamp.
And I'll give you like a 50 sheets of just your name already put on
I was about
there.
to say, why don't you just like type it in there and just print me off like 12 deck lists or something like that?
Because we gotta make it nice. It's not a matter
Oh, I
of the
forgot.
technicality. Yeah,
I
it's the
forgot.
process.
You're the drip king. How dare
Of
I?
course,
How dare
of
I?
course. You gotta get a gold seal like all those artist proofs when they go ahead and sign it with like their gold stamps.
Hey, dude, I would be so down to have like the hometown TCG logo and
Ooh,
in like that gold, how they do like the shadow writing on the
yeah.
signature for those artist proofs.
All right, that's it. I know what I'm doing then.
All right,
We
man.
gotta make it happen.
Listen, neither of us can afford that, so let's not set unrealistic expectations. So,
We'll
all right.
put it in the future.
Yes, yeah. When we're all rich and famous, and MinMax owns the world. When MinMax buys eBay for buying TCG Player, for buying Channel Fireball, we'll then get the gold stamp.
Yeah, like maybe next year or something. Maybe in a year or two.
All right. Well, now we're just
So
now we're just lying to the viewership.
yeah, now
Go
we're
for
just
it.
all over the place.
No,
So from your perspective over the weekend then, when you were just trying to go through the tweets or the updates that I was giving you, what were you most interested in trying to get like following wise? Because I know in your podcast when I watched that with Mark or Mo Money, Mo Dollars, whatever he goes by now.
dude,
I know I used to know him as Mark.
dude, he's big time. You're gonna get here too. If we're gonna do this content consistently, you know what I find out? My co-hosts all get, big and famous, and they're all like rock stars, Mick Jagger, leather jackets, bunch of girls, flash bulbs. That's just your life. It's coming up, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm very happy with where I'm at, and some of the people I've met have been very wonderful. So I can't wait for
Yeah,
my future and fame.
keep faking humility. It doesn't work on you. Go for it.
I know, I know. Anyway, so when you were getting that information, um, he had told me like, man, I wish that I was getting more info. Like, I wish I knew what specifically was happening, like what decks were going on. What was something that you were curious about that was happening during the event that just didn't make sense in terms of the storyline of the info you got to the end of it? What was something that you wanted to know?
So what I think, the first thing that always jumps out to me as someone who, again, it's just the way life is right now with a kid on the way. It's in the next 28 days or whatever. I can't be going on long road trips because anything could happen at any moment. So one thing I always wish, man, is to see like not only the hero breakdown, but like right away, SCG Con or whoever's hosting the event being like, this is the Fab event. It's kicking off now. These are the prizes that are on the line, and this is the number of players, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're an avid Flesh and Blood fan, which, I mean, if you look at the other 200 videos on this channel, I think I qualify. You just don't get the info that you want unless you dig for it. If you're an avid Flesh and Blood fan, you know how to find what the event is, what the prize support is, what the people are playing for. You can get that. But otherwise, man, you don't get much information outside of that. And if someone's tweeting it, it's maybe not getting to me, so part of that could be my fault. So you tweeting like the hero breakdown, the number of players was clutch right away. It's like, okay, I get a feeling for the size of the event, so I kind of have expectations of what I'm thinking. If I find out after the weekend that it's a 40-person event and all week I built up a 200-person event in my mind, I have like that big moment of letdown. But if you know the field from the start, not only do you have realistic expectations, you have a better understanding of what the event is. This isn't the Calling Vegas, right? Neither of these events were.
Yeah.
They were just big local events. So you get that. So yeah, that's long-winded answers. That's what I'd want. I'd want that right away. Number of players, what they're playing for, a picture of the, a big overhead picture of the room where they're playing.
Yeah, and that's kind of the same thing that I'm always looking for these SCG events, which is where when I was in Baltimore a couple weeks ago and just realizing like, man, there's all these crazy events and people only get to the results, but they never actually get the story of what happens throughout the course of the event. That's when I had that idea when I reached out to you. I'm like, you know what, I can do that because I'm going to be at all these events. I can talk to these people. I can see what's going on and get them the information that I know, one, that I always want to know, but I know what they're always asking for too, which is hero breakdown, top table settings, who are the players, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really happy that that went well, and to see the reception that so many people were really happy to get that information too right away. Even if they didn't know exactly where the the data was coming from.
Right.
But like you said, I mean, SCG retweeted it, and then I even saw later that Tariq was saying that he got the hero breakdown from like Reddit or something, and I'm like, I don't even know where that got there, but here we are, right? So
Well,
I'm just glad the information got out there.
dude, I gotta. This is your welcome to content moment. And again, I know you've done content with the Roundtable of Wraith, but
Yeah.
this is a big welcome to content moment for you. If you scoop something and it's good and the community likes it, you know that you did a good job because on some platform that you're not involved with, they have the information and they have no idea where it came from. Like people have then grabbed your information and passed it so far down the line that
Yeah.
they're like, I know this is fact. I have no idea where it came from. Like,
Yeah, right?
if you get cited as a source, like when I retweet you or something like that, and I retweet MinMax, when you get that's like one hand, you've got a chance, you know where it came from. Then when I get retweeted, maybe your name's still in there, but then it goes through another retweet, then gets posted on Facebook, then makes it from Facebook to Reddit. Nobody has any idea which one of us said it, and that's how information, it's good info. That's good intel.
Yeah. Yeah. So it felt like a good accomplishment. It felt like I was getting it at the right place. And even talking to some of the players that were there, like I remember after round 3 or something, Michael Fang got up from the table and did like a waltz to go see what was at the top table. He's like, can you just report like the top 5 tables of what's going on? I'm like, I got you, dude. I'll make sure that you know what's happening.
Bro, MinMax is putting you to work. You're putting yourself to work. Michael Fang is putting you to work. If Michael Fang catches this and he watches this late, which who knows if he will, leave in the comment section, what do you want Sam to do next? Like, what do you need, dude? Like, we got all numbers. We'll
Got
do
you.
whatever you need.
I'm here for the community, man. I'm here to serve. So whatever you guys need, let me know.
It was you. So you were a savior with those breakdowns. Now that's what as boots on the ground. Then what is something you would change? Whether it's about coverage, whether it's about the event structure, what's something you would have changed?
So I think they did a great job in just terms of the event itself, for specifically the Battle Hardened. The rest of the events I thought went very well. They always are kind of smaller attended anyway because everyone's really waiting for the Sunday event, right, for the big Battle Hardened. Same thing with Baltimore when they had the Battle Hardened as well. The only thing I would change would just be having SCG. I mean, again, I'm there, so if they want, I can help them out. I can hook them up with that info. But just like
Jobs
you
on
said,
jobs on jobs, dude.
just having SCG there though on top of it, because even like when we hit top 8, right, people were asking what's the hero breakdown, what's the bracket, and they're like, we'll get you that information soon. And then like a minute later, boom, I'm out there, I'm like, hey Judge, can I get that? And I'm like typing it all out and send it out to them. So like they could have someone doing that too. Otherwise though, if they don't, I'm happy to be there doing that for them too. So if we can't get live coverage, if we can't get actual games being streamed, then just getting that information and data out ASAP is just so big for the rest of the community to kind of get a better gauge as to what to expect and what's actually going on at the event.
Dude, I proposed this. So I dropped off. I'm trying to think when this is going to go on the channel. I did a 100 pack opening of Double Masters 2022 collector booster packs. So I did this pack, and then so I just had to drop all that stuff off at MinMax the morning that we're recording this. So I've been going since like 5:30 this morning. It's been crazy, and I dropped.
Yeah, dude, because I went in there this morning and I saw it all.
Yeah, and I brought it in like I had like an extra Crimson Vow empty draft box.
Yeah.
And I dropped it off, and Peter's like, I did not send you with Crimson Vow. I'm like, well, that's what you're getting back. I don't know what you want me to tell you, dude.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. No, I was just saying I walked in and they were literally, I saw that Crimson Vow. They were pulling out all the commons and making
Right.
sure they were sorting it to get it all listed. And I'm like, I thought we sent him Double Master. They're like, yeah, no, that's what we thought too.
Yeah, but he sent it in the Omega packs, which is like Fab does this so much better than Wizards. The whole time I'm opening packs, first of all, 100 packs takes a long time to open. Now take 100 packs and put them in individual boxes that you have to open before you open the inner pack. My recycling guys this morning were probably like, what does this man do? Like, how does one person create this much cardboard? It's crazy. Now, I recycle it all, but Fab does such a better job of the paper packs. Like Wizards, and I cover both games. Listen, everyone knows it. I cover Magic and I cover Fab. I play and I'm a fan of both games. Yep. If you haven't gotten over that yet, I don't know what to tell you, dude. But Wizards just doesn't get it. LSS and Fab just freaking get it, man. Like the paper packs.
Mm-hmm.
I opened Uprising the other day just to open the paper packs. Like I was so stoked.
Yeah. It's so satisfying and it's so easy. Like working in a company where we spend a lot of time literally opening packs just to get cards that people
Sure.
need. Opening up Yu-Gi-Oh packs, man. You know how long it takes to rip the seal and then the little corner is not fully ripped and then you gotta like peel that back and then you gotta pull it out. Fab paper packs, just and you're good to go.
Cracking
So
good to go.
fast.
But that whole
I
tangent
respect
was
it.
leading into the fact that I walked into Peter this morning and I said, you know, they didn't have any coverage. How cool would it be to put together a mobile setup for Sam that you
Yeah.
could just take and then people could either play pickup games at the MinMax booth. You could chat with people. We'll stream the whole thing. We'll put you live out there, man, and you can just do whatever you want with the setup. But I gotta tell you, I don't know if I trust you to just give you the keys to the channel. You're gonna make me burn, man. It's gonna be horrible. You're gonna say some horrible things about me.
No way, man. You can entrust me. Come on. What's the worst I could do? I'll
This-
just be playing some classic constructed games in the corner.
This is literally what you would say if you were gonna say something horrible about me on the
No
channel.
way. No way.
I feel like
I
I would come back to 5 hours of just Josh roasting.
No, man. Come on. We're in a collaboration now, right? We're sponsored together. We're on the same team.
That's fair enough. Well, no, we're not, because I sponsor Team Ascent and you're on Team
Oh, that's
MinMax.
We're not a
So,
team. That's the thing. We're not a team. We're just a collaboration of players all around the country, you know? We're not a team. Everyone does their own thing. We're just a coalition.
all right, I'm not even gonna touch that. We're gonna finish this content today. I don't know, is this just a podcast at this point that happens after Flesh and Blood events? We don't know what this is gonna become. We're excited
Yeah.
for what it's gonna become. I guess if you've stuck around this long, you deserve to know. We're planning to move it in person, and if it becomes in person, it might be bi-weekly. It might become weekly based on if Sam can deal with a baby crying. We'll
Yeah.
figure out how that goes. But this is going to be cool. But I want to finish with a little section I like to call Secret Tech. So if you stick around to the end of the episode, you get the Secret Tech, where we talk about things that you could only know by being at this event. And Sam's got all the Secret Tech. We're going to pull it out of him. And I want to start with the misnomer about
Yes.
these Oldhim decks.
Mm-hmm.
These Oldhim decks
So-
are part of the Control Winter, right?
Yeah, man. I hate to break it to you, but these Oldhim decks that are actually winning and doing very well are not control oriented decks. They are very aggro, very mid-range, running like 5-ish pummels. Even the greatest thing, the biggest tech that I saw these Oldhims running were red Macho Grande, red Glacial Footsteps. They are
Dang.
there to dominate, slam damage through as fast as possible, and block you out as efficiently as possible as well. They're very difficult to deal with because of the amount of disruption and also the amount of dominate that they have, where even in the Guardian Mirror, they're able to just force that damage through, which is pretty intense considering Bravo, prior to that, I still think has a pretty good matchup into Oldhim, but it's much scarier now with how much dominate they have and how much damage they just punch through. It was very scary. And I've been hearing about this too through the pro players that they were talking about it, but seeing it firsthand, the deck is very strong.
All right, so you're saying that if a viewer's watched this long, that's a little hint for you. That's a little secret tech. Maybe transition a little bit into an aggro package. And I would be remiss, dude, if I didn't ask you. You are famous, infamous.
Mhm.
You are known for your Briar gameplay.
Yes.
Let's get it out of the way. You're also known for cracking the top 8, putting out a deck list, and leaving everyone to wonder why you have a Talishar in this deck when you clearly never played it. So there's some Briar secret tech. What do you got for Briar?
So all weekend, people kept coming up to the booth asking for yellow belittles, yellow snatches, force of nature, Chanamont heroic, creepers. Very clearly, everyone was piloting and trying to build the Matt Folks belittle Briar list that just won the Pro Tour.
Signaling a bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a bit.
And as I walked the tables, I would say majority of those Briars were the belittle Briar list. And I hate to break it to people, but that list was, in my opinion, a one-event list, and I don't think it can survive into a Guardian meta that we have right now. That is why you saw such a high number of Briars, but none of them even got close to touching the top tables.
Listen, you know that what you're doing on this show right now is directly going against the most recent Pro Tour champion.
Yeah.
Like that.
And if you look at his matchups, you can see that he didn't play a Guardian, and we are in a Guardian meta. And
Okay.
I also think that Briar was a deck that greatly benefited from the existence of Prism, because one, it was a very favored matchup, and two, she kept away all your bad matchups, and she is now gone. So you are left to the worst monsters under the bed that are coming at you now. The Briar decks that I did see having some success, though, were the hard aggro Briar lists that were more in tune to kind of what I played earlier. They also made it to the Nats qualifier. Top 4 was one of those hardline aggro Briar decks. And then also some of the other Briars that were at the top tables for a bit were playing more of the aggro list, not the Belittle Briar list, because it's way more susceptible to Guardians, especially getting hit by Crush the Weak, and also Chokeslam affects it way more. So
Fair.
I don't know. You can try to bring it to Nats. I am going to be putting out a video specifically very detailed about Briar on the Roundtable of Wraith that I plan on having out hopefully this week. But it's going to be awesome. It's something I've been thinking about doing for a long time now. So it's kind of my last ode to Briar, as I suspect that she'll probably LL this national season. But it's going to be my final content on Briar.
Listen, and I've got some strong feelings on this because I think I should still get to play Briar my way when she LLs because I don't play it the correct way. I play it the fun way. So
Yeah.
I think I should get an exception and still be allowed to play Briar after she hits LL. But are you telling me that my Briar list is not going to cut it?
The funny thing though, talking about secret tech, Pursuit of Knowledge was a card that I did see many times throughout this weekend in some Icelander decks, even in some Phi decks I saw it. I can't speak about the effectiveness of the card, but I did see it in many decks. So your Briar list should still be safe, hopefully.
Listen, you ever fused a force of nature and pummeled a pursuit of knowledge off that force of nature? Like, have you ever done it? There are few things that feel quite as good, let me tell you. But so that's the secret tech, and we want to end the secret tech section with talking about, from a vendor perspective, what's selling right now. The community's out there buying cards. What are you guys selling?
So the things that we literally can just never keep in stock are Crown of Providence. That card goes out as fast as it comes in. Command and Conquers are literally always being sold, always gone. Marble Dragons were actually something that a lot of people had a lot of appeal for, especially the cold foil Aether Ashwings. We did sell 2 of the Marvels as well, so there's a lot of Dromai hype. There's a lot of people who are really interested in the cold foil versions of those. And then even just like the Marvel Phoenix Flames, a lot of the Marvel cards from Uprising have a lot of desirability. And even one of the weirder ones is maybe not as much on the show floor, but something that I'm seeing a lot as I'm filling orders. People just can't get enough of those cold foil trinkets from Everfest, man. The amulets, talismans, I don't know what people are, what they're working towards, but those things just sell all the time. So PvE, maybe around the corner, especially today with that Yorick drop that we got, which was pretty interesting. But get your trinkets now. I don't know. I can't attest to what they're going to be, but people keep buying them, so maybe they know something I don't.
Listen, when the creator of the game comes out and says there's going to be more use for these in the future, I think that's like a safe bet. If you're going to this isn't financial advice, but it kind of like a little bit is, that's one of those statements I think you can lean on. You're cool and you're hip and I'm old. So ready? That's keeping it a buck.
Oh, I like that. That's nice. I'm going to have to throw that into my jargon these days.
Listen, you can miss me with all this sarcasm. Miss me with that. That's right. I got more cool guys sayings. You don't know about them.
I'm just keeping it a buck, dude. $1.50 maybe. You never know.
So guys, this has been the recap. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. If you haven't yet, visit youtube.com/the Roundtable of Wraith. Those guys over there, they're also Chicago based. They have some awesome content and they're really just cool people to hang out with. Anytime I see cool people to hang out with, they got a YouTube channel, I'm all about subscribing and catching their content. So I encourage you guys to do the same. Remember, this podcast, I'm just calling it a podcast at this point because I don't know what else to call it. It might not be a podcast, but I'm calling it a podcast. Is brought to you by MinMax Games. You can visit minmaxgamesfab.com and use promo code HTTCG for 5% off your singles order of $50 or more. Sam, hopefully we can do this in person. I think we're moving this in person.
Yeah.
We're going to hang out. We're going to have a good time. And we're going to talk about what other people aren't talking about. Everyone wants lists. Everyone's talking about lists. Everyone's talking about tier lists. Everyone wants deck lists. Now, man, there's so much more going on in this game.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of talk. I talk to a lot of players, a lot of pros, a lot of vendors, a lot of judges, and there is way more than meets the eye. I don't want to out anyone. I don't want to put anything out there that people don't want to know, but I can definitely assure you that there's way more going on underneath the surface than it appears, especially from just this one event at Columbus. This is just the start. I fully believe that this event was just a proof of concept event. We all knew that Oldhim was going to be good. We all knew Dash was going to be good. We all suspected Dromai would be a good foil to those decks. And we all knew that that the aggro decks were going to struggle. And this was a very reflective result of those things. I don't think it's going to be the determinant of what we're going to see here at Nats. I think it was just the initial response to Prism leaving. And it's no surprise to anybody, in my opinion.
Bro, just be like a Sent Easton. Just go undefeated on Lexi. Just do that. That is financial advice. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Until next time, you guys know me. My name is Josh.
I'm Sam Dando.
And we will see you in the next episode.
Peace.